May we seek Sayadaw's permission to start the talk?
Okay, you can start.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Vandami Sayadaw and good evening, everyone. Good morning, everyone in the West Hemisphere. Welcome to the lesson 64 on Visuddhimagga, patisambhidamagga, and commentaries. I'm Janice Ong. I'm the meeting co-host who will be helping Sayadaw and everyone in today's session. May we respectfully invite Sayadaw to start the teaching, and may we invite the interpreter Bantes to start the translation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Today we are going to talk about the last part of insight knowledges. So they are mentioned Anuloma Jnana. In the case of Anuloma Jnana, the yogi has cultivated Sankarupaka Jnana, equanimity regarding information. So this is the highest insight knowledges. At this stage, separate supporting quality become very strong. Okay, here we have supporting quality. So they are also mentioned, the first one, faith, atimaka saddha. So that means sometimes we also have alternative saddha dimokha. Actually, dimokha means decision. That means we have very strong belief or very strong faith. Our decision become very firm and very strong. So that means we have very strong confidence, or we have very strong belief that we can liberate or we can attain path and fruition knowledge. So if we summarize this is called decisive faith or determining faith. Actually, Timok also understand as a decision, or we can also understand as a determination. So that means the saddha confidence become very strong, very powerful at the moment. Now, energy, virya, vigorous efforts. We can also understand this like a supported effort, or we can also understand well supported effort. So sometimes we encounter difficulty because of lack of effort. Similarly, because understand that means when we encounter many difficulties, we become lazy also sometimes. We want to give up sometimes. But here at the moment of Sankarupaka Jnana, very strong concentrations, also very strong mindfulness, very strong faith. Not only that, they're very strong virya. Well supported virya. So one more thing here, when we say mindfulness, we can also say sharp recollection or sharp mindfulness. We can also understand another way, that is a clearly established mindfulness or well-established mindfulness. This is also called one of the quality at the moment of Sankarupaka Jnana. And similarly, concentration. Steady mind, we can also say well-concentrated mind. This is called samadhi. So about all equanimity for formation, Sankarupaka Jnana, serene, impartiality. Because that means they are well balanced. All of them are working very well. None of them are excessive. At the time, Sankarupaka Jnana, the knowledge to equanimity become very sharp and very powerful. Okay, this is the condition, the quality that will arise at the moment of Sankarupaka Jnana. When we become that sharp and that strong, There will be the next part we have to understand. That one is at the moment, just before the path arises, the yogi contemplates formation as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay, we have already mentioned that one many times. This is very common in vipassana. We don't need to say many things about it. So that means when we can do anicca, dukkha, anatta very well, this we can say inside knowledge. After that contemplation, the mind inclined to one nibbana. Okay, one more thing here. Just mind inclined to one nibbana. It doesn't mean our mind start realizing or understanding nibbana. So this is the very beginning of path knowledge or fruition knowledge, because we can say very beginning of mental process. After that, there will be mental process. So that means every inside knowledge also arises as a mental process. Okay, now we should talk about here Sankarupaka Jnana. When Sankarupaka Jnana become very powerful, so there will be Mahakusala Jnana Samyutta Citta, right? Also, we can also say wholesome mental process. Ñāṇadassanavisuddhi 7 javanas. Because since it's very high knowledge already, there will be no more Dhamana. There will be Bhavanga. After Bhavanga, there will be the next moment. Sequence of mind moment. So the next one, mention the mental process. Okay. So, Ñāṇadassanavisuddhi mind to advertent turns towards Nibbana. Okay, now here, Javana, impulse, arise in sequence. That is it, Parikama, impulse, impulsion mind moments. Upachara, Javana, this also impulsion mind moments because they say Neva who can assess. The Anuloma, conformity, impulse. So whenever we say Anuloma Jnana, it refers to this Anuloma Javana, Anuloma mind moment. Although we just cut into different pieces, actually these are only one mental process. That means as soon as Ñāṇadassanavisuddhi, Parikama, Upachara arise, Anuloma will arise naturally. No interval. No one can intervene in this kind of mind state or in this kind of conditions. So there will be the next mind moment about it. That is called Anuloma. After Anuloma, we also say the next one. So that means Anuloma Jnana, the earlier Jnana, we already mentioned Udaya Jnana. Very long time ago, we have talked about Udaya Jnana, right? There are many different ways of discernment. Horizon stage, variation stage, both horizon and variation stage. Similarly, Tangha Jnana, only variation stage. Bhaya Jnana. Bhaya Jnana means fear, right? Adinova means danger. Nirvana, disenchantment, Mujita Kamyata, longing for release. Patisambhidamagga, we can also say reviewing. Sankarupaka Jnana already mentioned, right? So we can also say in the Anuloma Jnana, the earlier, all the earlier state of Jnana will arise. I'm sorry. So Jnana will, sorry, all the previous Jnana will be different from Anuloma Jnana. The Anuloma Jnana will function or harmonize with all the 32 petals of enlightenment. So here I already mentioned 36 arrogance of enlightenment, which are fulfilled in the past. So Anuloma also, we can understand like a conformity, right? It will harmonize, or it will make all the path and fruition knowledge, all the Dhamma harmonious. So as we already mentioned, Bodhipakkhya Dhamma, right? 37 arrogance of enlightenment. So all the things will arise at the time of Anuloma Jnana. it will be different from previous one. So in the case of Udaya Ñāṇa, Bhanga Ñāṇa, they may arise, but not that much conformity. Okay, it becomes stronger, the stronger point, it becomes very conformity. So not only that, you can also understand many other factors here. For example, when we mention Bodhipakkhya Dhamma, it also includes Noble Eightfold Paths. It also includes 7 Bojjhanga. It also includes Satipatthana. So all the things are under the name of Bodhipakkhya Dhamma. So that means this jnana is very strong that it can harmonize all the factors together. So after that, we have to move the example or the simile of the practice. So the righteous can hear his minister judgment, setting aside bias, agree. So it is indeed. Okay, this is the one thing, right? So that means in the courts, the judge will make some handle some criminal issue, but some of the judge will be partiality or bias, right? But then here minister, his minister, here all the minister we can say, right? Do everything well, without bias, without impartiality, without partialities. That's why he agreed. It is indeed. So his agreement aligns with both minister decision. This is the one thing. Second one is the Asian royal law. These two are harmonious or alliance. So here we have example. King is like Anuloma Ñāṇa. Anuloma Ñāṇa, this is conformity. Minister is 8 inside knowledges. We already mentioned previous 8 is the inside knowledges, right? So from Udaya Ñāṇa to Sankhārupa Ñāṇa. So all the 8 knowledge were decide righteously. That means they are working very well. If we say another way, they are very harmonious. That means they are, all their practice are leading to Nibbana. We can also say easier way, right? This is also called conformity. Now there's the Asian law is the 37 logistics of enlightenment, Bodhipakkhya Dhamma. These are the example. So that means when we make some decisions according to the law, it must be our own decision, or it must be in conformity with Asian law. Okay, for example, if we do some decision in Paodoya, also can be my decision, it must be in accordance with Paodoya rule and regulation. So here, the king is Anuloma Ñāṇa. It will agree, or it must be like this, right? It make conformity between all the things. Actually, there are many other examples mentioned in the Visuddhimagga. Actually, it will be many other information according to many other sutta also. That is why it will take very long time to explain, but here we couldn't use many other things about noble paths. So now we have to talk about the first noble path, Sotapatimagga. So this is cut off the first three factors. That means Sotapatimagga will cut or eradicate the first 3 factors. They are very gross. That's why they can cut off very easily, right? The first, Sakkaya Ditthi, identity view. Believe in a self in aggregate. Actually, we have already talked about Sakaya Ditti in many part of previous Dhamma talk. That is why here we will not illustrate too much. If we summarize, there can be many different ways. We understand many different types of step or everlasting entity in the five aggregate. Then, second, Vichikicha, doubt about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and the training. Actually, Vichikicha also has many other explanations, right? Doubt about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. That means this is also very common, right? Sometimes we may get confused. Does Buddha really know all the Dhamma? Or does seven Ñāṇadassanavisuddhi say truth? That kind of thing, right? That's in the case of Dhamma also, for example, by patisambhidamagga, can we attain power? Can we eradicate defilements? Is it truth or fake? Or just according to just the book say? Similarly, in the case of Sangha also, although the Buddha say like a noble person, like a Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana, are they really noble? We may have that kind of doubt. So we can also understand, we may have a doubt about Buddha's quality. For example, Arahant, Sama Sambuddho, right? We may have doubt about all this quality. Similarly, Dhamma's quality. Sangha's quality. So this is also called Vichikicha. Then training again. We have three trainings. Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Actually, not only three trainings, we also have doubt about three trainings, the benefit of three trainings. For example, by following Sila, we can purify our body actions and speech. Is it truth or untruth? We may have a doubt. Not only that, when we have morality, then we have more confidence in the community, that kind of benefit, right? This also truth or fake. Then do we need to follow all the rules and regulations? What's the benefit, for example, right? We may have that kind of doubt. But in the case of Visuddhimagga, after attaining Visuddhimagga, no more doubt like this. Similarly, concentration. Sometimes our mind will sway here and there. Different teachers may say different theory of concentration. But sometimes they may say concentration is important. Okay, we can say it important. Sometimes they may say concentration is not very important. Now, why do we have to practice? Why do we have to see nimitta? There are many doubts about the practice, especially samatha practice. There's also many other things. By attaining jhana, can we really subside hindrances? Can we really overcome hindrances? That kind of doubt. So similarly, we also have panya, wisdom. So you have already know many things about Abhidhamma. You have already know many things about insight knowledges. For example, in the very beginning of Vipassana, we have Namarubha Parikaha or Namarubha Paricheda. We also say Namarubha Vavatthana. Whatever usage, you have to apply the same practice. So that means, do we have to know all types of rupas? We may have that kind of doubt. Why do we have to know all types of dhamma? Why do we have to discern all types of rupas? We may have that kind of doubt. But after attaining Sotapanna, no more doubt like this. So if we say briefly, Vichikicha is a very wide Dharma, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and trainings. Not only that, dependent origination, cause and effect relationship, karma ownership. If we are talking about all these things, this is also called Vichikicha. Silabbata Paramasa, clinging to right and ritual. That means wrong practice. So there are many ritual. Of course, some of them are ritual. For example, in Myanmar, we may offer food to the Buddha. And people say this is also a ritual. It depends on how we accept. If we feel that's the real Buddha, in our mind, we are giving food to real Buddha. This is beneficial. So in Myanmar, we have that kind of culture, but in Thailand, you cannot find that kind of culture. Anyway, the main thing is Silapada Paramasami, telling into right and ritual also can be wrong practice. So sometimes we are following a wrong practice. We have too much clinging into it. Although we cannot improve anymore. So sometimes, although we have read many books about instant knowledges or many things, we have got many informations, but we still follow shortcut, easier way. Right? For example, you don't need to know all types of rubas. Just know this body is a ruba. Changing our body is a ruba. So we can also understand many other things like that, right? But this is of course, we can say this is a ruba, but it's not 100% truth. We have to know actually reality, actually 4 elements in the very beginning, right? Then after that, we have to do all the process to understand nama rupas. So sometimes we follow the wrong paths. We still believe this is the right path. Sometimes, although we know the right path, we hesitate to follow the right path because we are based on clinging into the wrong path. So Silapada Paramasa is a kind of wrong view according to Abhidhamma. So when we study the 52 Mendafetters, we're going to find Silapada Paramasa as the Mendafetters, because this is another name of wrong view. So that is why sometimes some scholar, not some scholar, in some textbooks, it just mentions 2 things, Ditti Vicikiccha. It has mentioned Saga Ditti or Silapada Paramasa, right? Just summarize Ditti Vicikiccha. Because Saga Ditti also Ditti, Silapada Paramasa is also Ditti. That's why combined together, Ditti Vicikiccha. So similarly, we also have fruition and attainment. Of course, this is also one of the things. Direct experience of Nibbana as a fruit of the cutting, fruit of it, the meat as a fruit of this cutting off. So this is also one of the attainments. The disciples become a Sotapanna, guaranteed liberations within at most 7 more lives, not falling into woeful states. Okay, these are the conditions of Sotapanna. Actually, there are many explanations of this Maggaphala, Sotapanna. So we already mentioned Anuloma Jnana, confirmatory knowledge. After that, there will be further knowledge. There will be Koterebu, change of lineage, another mind moment. So at the time, we also have to know many other things. So that means Koteru have very many different powers. After that, there will be Sotapanna and Phala. Sotapanna after that, Phala will be 2 times or maybe 3 times. Okay, here we should talk about Koterebu Jnana. Here I didn't mention anything about Koterebu Jnana. Because after Anuloma Jnana, there will be Koterebu, right? I didn't mention here. So Koterebu Jnana also have very strong power. For example, it also continuity. For example, according to Patana, right? We can also say it's a continuity condition. After Koterebu, there's a very powerful knowledge. So another thing is Aramana. Sorry, Samanada, Ananda, Samanada, they are the same, right? Another Asevana, habitual repetition. Similarly, Upanisaya, Nati, Vikata. So these are the patana conditions for Kudrabu and Magga, path knowledge. So there are many other definitions of it. Then, in the case of Kudrabu Jnana, then we also say this also can take Nibbana as object. One more thing, be careful, right? Kudrabu Jnana also can take Nibbana as object. So Nulama Jnana cannot see Nibbana as object, but Kudrabu Jnana will take Nibbana as object. Or the path knowledge, presumably they will take Nibbana as object. So we have some simile, but I didn't mention in the script here. So actually, there are many things we can understand as a Nibbana. Okay, we have to say some simile here. Okay, for example, we have Nulama Jnana, conformity, Kudrabu Jnana, two different things, right? Nulama Jnana also have the ability to dispel antagonists or defilements, but it cannot take Nibbana as object. These two are different. So one more thing, here, antagonists or defilements mean defilements can conceal the truth. The defilements can conceal the ultimate realities. So he will dispel that kind of defilements. Although they can subside or they can dispel defilements, but the Nirvana Jnana doesn't have ability to see Nibbana. Okay, one more thing here. Opposite. Kudrabu Jnana have ability to take Nibbana as object. Right? This is the one thing, right? But it doesn't have ability to dispel darkness or defilements that can conceal the truth. Actually, there are many other examples here mentioned. Okay, for example, we may have some explanation in the text. It also mentioned the moon and the star, right? So when the moon and the star come out from the clouds, over there with the light, if there's the clouds that covering the sky, we're going to see the moon. Okay, one more thing. The wind will rise, it will scatter thick clouds. After that, maybe it becomes stronger and stronger. It will be another layer of clouds. Finally, it will remove all types of clouds. After that, we can see the moon in the sky. No more clouds, that's why we can see the moon and the star in the sky. Okay, here we have a few different things. How I mentioned 3 layers of cloud, different layer of clouds, right? For example, very thick layer of clouds, then medium layer of clouds, and very subtle or thin layer of clouds. So this is also similar to defilements. Darkness of defilements that can conceal the truth. That means we cannot see the moon or the star because of darkness, because of the cloud. Then 3 winds. One more time, right? 3 winds. 3 different conditions of wind. Right? The first wind will remove very thick layer of the clouds. Second one, medium. The last ones, only subtle or thin layer of the clouds. So 3 winds represent the 3 anuloma mind moments. Okay, one more thing here. 3 anuloma mind moment means Parikama, Upachara, Anuloma. These 3 are called 3 anuloma mind moments. So at the time, we cannot see the Nibbana yet. So that means the sighted man, so a man with good eyesight represents Kudrabu Jnana. So Kudrabu Jnana is the man who have good eyesight. And the moon will represent Nibbana. The star will represent Nibbana, right? So that means when no more clouds, we can see the moon. Similarly, when no more defilements, we can see the moon. At the time, the cloud has all the clouds have already swept away by the wind. The normal clouds, that's why no more defilements. That's why we don't need to despair anymore. Okay, another thing is we have also another simile. Actually, okay, if we say many simile, it will be endless also. Okay, that means there are many other simile also mentioned there, right? So main thing is when we contain 𝐸𝐸 and pala, of course, this before that there will be Kuddha-viññāṇa. Kuddha-viññāṇa also see Nibbana as object. Visuddhimagga also see Nibbana as object. After that, we have pala. 2 or 3 pala, they will see Nibbana as object. So it depends on the conditions. Sometimes Bodhikama will not arise. Sometimes Bodhikama will arise. It depends on personality. As we already mentioned, Danda Binya, right? We already talked about Danda Binya before. If we have Danda Binya, there will be Bodhikama, Upachara, Nuloma, Kuddha, after that, Magga, and 2 phala. If there's we can say Kripa Binya, then it will be a little bit different. No more Bodhikama. Only Upachara, Nuloma, Kuddha, after that, Visuddhimagga, phala. So these are only in one mental process. Only one mental process. We can see all the things at once. So one more thing here. When we can attain path and fruition knowledge, then we can also say we can dry up the great ocean of samsara. Right? We can dry great ocean of samsara. Then if we are in the samsara, we have to suffer endlessly. So not only that, then we will close all the gates to lower realms or fourfold states. Then we become noble. Okay, one more thing, we have some noble treasure. As we have already mentioned before, there are many other treasures, right? We have already mentioned 7 noble treasure. For example, Saddha, faith. This is also noble treasure. Then another is morality, Sila. This is also treasure. The moral shame, moral dread. These are also called treasure. Dhamma knowledge, learning, because we have already learned meditation. This is also treasure. Generosity, Jhāga, this is also one of the treasure. Similarly, wisdom, this is also called treasure. So when we have all these treasure, I mean, we may have treasure, some more treasure we may have in our normal life, but after attaining Sotapaddi, Magga, Sotapaddi phala, they may have all these types of treasure. Unchangeable treasure. So another thing is you also have to know Visuddhimagga. We already mentioned, right? Noble Eightfold Paths. So noble, we can also change to ignoble. So that means find the power of Sotapadimagga, Sotapadipala. Now we can also destroy Visuddhimagga, ignoble paths. Then there will be many other countless benefits, many other countless blessings at the moment. Okay, that means it's totally blessing, right? When we can take path and fruits and all this is the totally blessing, right? It will happen naturally. Okay, now we have to move the next part as Sotapadimagga. After that, we also have to talk about Sakadagami-magga, right? So one returning Sakadagami-magga or Sakadagami phala. So that's not cut off new factors, but attenuates make weaker the next two defilements. Kama raga, sensual desire, Vyapada, ill will. Okay, these are just for example. So at the moment of Visuddhimagga also, it may weaken all other types of defilements. Although their defilements are not so strong that they will break 5 precepts. Right? That means they will not break 5 precepts because their power is personality power is very strong. That means that their defilements also not so strong. Only weak defilements will remain. So here also again mentioned Kama Raga and Vyapada. Actually, it also means all other defilements will become weaker also. Then again, confirm the attenuations of experiencing Nibbana. Actually, at that moment also, it will be the same. The disciples become Sakadagami and who will be reborn at most once more in the sensual realms. Okay, here one more thing. They will be reborn in the sensual realms only one time. It also can be normal, possible. Right? So then they can be reborn in the Brahma worlds more than one time. So only in the sensual realm, only one more times. Okay, one more thing here. Also, it will be the same. All the controlling faculties, power, enlightenment factors, then they will become stronger as usual. As I mentioned before, it also make all the unwholesome states, as mentioned, for example, Visuddhimagga, ignoble path, right? Then it will eliminate. Of course, it has been already eliminated at the moment of Visuddhimagga. At the moment of Sakadagami, we don't need to say anything anymore. Okay, for your information, although here I didn't mention anything about revealed knowledge, I have to add here because I have already mentioned revealed knowledge in our previous Abhidhamma talk. That's why I don't add here. We have different types of revealed knowledge in every single attainment. For example, after attaining Visuddhimagga and Pala, there will reveal knowledge. So the revealed knowledge will review the path, the fruition, Nibbana. So you may remember when we talk about reviewing jhana factors, right? We have to review jhana factors. Or similarly, reviewing path knowledge, reviewing fruition knowledge, reviewing Nibbana. At the time, we have to know how many mental factors arise in the jhana mind moment. This is also important. This is called reviewing. Then, not only that, they also mention 2 types of kilesa. For example, he will review the defilements he has already eradicated. But he also review the defilements that had not yet eradicated. They not yet been eradicated. So these 2 types of review knowledge also can be. So Visuddhimagga also have the review knowledge. Sakadagami also have this review knowledge. Nagamimagga also have this review knowledge. Okay, now we have to move the next one. Anagamimagga. Anagami Pala. So completely destroying the same 2 factors, Kama Raga and Vyapada. Because that means at the moment of Sakadagami it just make weaker, but here totally destroy. What does it mean? Sensual desire. It's very clear. For example, Visuddhimagga, Visakha, Anathapindika, they have family. Right? That means in the case of Visakha, she had attained Visuddhimagga since she was 7 years old. She got married. She had childs. She had many children. So that means they have sensual desire, right? But they don't break precepts. They don't break 5 precepts. This is her husband, right? All the children are to husband her. That's why I said there's no breaking precepts. But this is called sensual desire. But after attaining Anagami Magga, nobody will get married. No more children. It will be like this. So this is totally different from Sadabhati and Sakabhami. Well, frequently we also talk about this. At the moment of Sadabhati 5 precepts, but at the moment of Anagami, it will be 10 precepts. Very clear. I also remind many times to many people, right? Now modern society, many of meditation tradition, and some tradition, they boldly declare, I am in Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahat, that kind of things, right? So although they declare themselves as Anagami, but they have a bank account, they have money, they accept money, right? Then they don't undertake 5 precepts very well. They are not Anagami. It's very clear. So, another one is Vyabhada, ill will. It will also refer to dosa. Although we just say ill will, actually it can be any kind of dosa. For example, you may remember one Mahathera, we talked about it before, teacher of Venerable Dhammadina, who misunderstands himself as an arhat at the moment of impurity of insight in Udayavaya Ñāṇa. Right? So whenever Dhammadina asked many questions to him, he could answer everything well. He also asked his teacher to create an elephant. It's easy because he had attained such a power. He could do everything easily. After that, he let elephant attack him. He's scared. So remember this one. Scary. This is also a kind of dosa. Then he was very well educated bhikkhus. He could understand, even he hadn't attained Anagami yet. He also realized he hadn't dedicated defilements yet. Right? This is one of the examples. Okay, the main thing is ill will, dosa, fear, worry, depression, displeasure, lamentation, grief, right? All the things can be considered as a dosa. Then this is also very clear. No scary, because understand very clear, right? So fruition confirmed cut off with direct experience of Nibbana. Okay, the main thing is every single path and fruition attainment, there's also mental process. You have to understand. In the mental process, as I have mentioned before, Narara Vachana, the mind to consciousness mind moments, after that, Purikama, preparation, Upachara, sex, Anuloma, conformity, quadrilateral change or lineage, after that, path and fruition knowledge. But here in the case of Sakadagami, Anagami, we cannot say quadrilateral change or lineage because no more change in lineage, only Vardhana, purity. Everything will be changed. The here attainment that the disciples become Anagami, then who will never return to the sensual worlds. Rebirths occur in the pure abodes, Sudavasa Brahma worlds. where final liberation is attained. Okay, here one more thing we have to talk about. Shiva Upasana vehicle. This also questions from many people. Frequently, they ask this kind of question. If somebody practice Shiva Upasana vehicle, then he may attain anagami. In this lifetime, he will attain ship. Can he be reborn in the Brahma world without attaining jhana? This is a big question. A lot of curiosity about it. So here, the answer. Actually, they have already eradicated very gross defilements. They can attain jhana very easily. Although they don't practice samatha, they don't attain jhana entire life, but in near-death moment, they will definitely attain jhana. We can say fourth jhana or fifth jhana, right? Or mention, if we say according to the practice now, it can be Ubhaka Ekagata, fourth jhana, right? So they will attain easily. This produced by their path and fruition knowledge. Although they don't practice, they will attain naturally. This is the power of their attainment. So, okay, I already mentioned they can attain, right? They may also thought, why? Oh, don't ask this kind of question. This is the power of the attainment. Anagami path and fruition attainment is very powerful. That's when they will attain the one naturally. Okay, for example, if you have already passed high school, you can go to the college naturally, right? You don't do think about middle school or higher grades naturally. The another thing is you also have high school graduation, right? You can get certificate naturally. Okay, if we talk about basic education, if you pass Dhammaciya level 1, level 2, you're gonna get certificate. If you finish all the 3, you can get certificate. So that means they have already attained Nagami, that's why they can attain jhana naturally before that moment. This is the power, okay? So now we have to move the last one. That is Ada, path and fruition knowledge. So here, actually, you're describing all the 5 higher factors. Here we mention Rupa Raga. Rupa Raga means attachment to Brahma world or that kind of things, right? We call Rupa Raga, right? Raga, attachment or craving for immaterial existence. So for example, Anagami, they can attain jhana, they will be reborn in the Brahma worlds. They have attachment to Brahma worlds. Mana, conceit. Okay, one more thing here, we have different types of mana. If we say briefly, there are 2 types of mana. So we have to talk about mana many times, many times in many places. Here we can say only 2 different types. The one type is not accepting the truth. Sometimes we are so arrogant that we don't accept the truth. This is a toxic. So in every noble disciples, for example, Sodapati, Sagadagami, Anagami, they don't have that kind of toxic mana. Although they have mana, they may be arrogant, but they still accept the truth. That is the nature of noble person. But here at the moment of Ahadapath and fruition knowledge, no more mana. Accepting truth or not accepting truth, it doesn't mean anymore. Right? They will cut totally without any remainder. Uddhacca, restlessness. Avidya, ignorance. Of course, you have already known the meaning of all these things, so I don't need to explain too much. Now we have another one, fruition. direct realization of complete cessations of all fetters. So attainment. So when we say attainment here again, never become arhat, then who has already destroyed all defilements, crossed beyond the birth and death, is worthy recipients of gift. And we already mentioned, right? Dekhineyo, Ahuneyo, Bahuneyo, Dekhineyo, right? These are the highest one. Okay, these are the part we have to understand as a normal person. Sorry, the difference from normal persons and arhat. Okay, now we have to talk about different conditions of all the path and fruition knowledge. Now we may have many different layer of brackets, right? For example, we may have defilements, wrong noble path, ignoble paths. We may also have like many types of other grouping defilements. For example, like all asawa, taste, orga, floods, that kind of things, right? It was mentioned. Okay, now we have to move the next one. So here I mentioned the first part, 3 entries. Catch Sakaya Ditti. We already mentioned Sakaya Ditti. Vichikicha, Silapada Paramasa. We already mentioned before. And the fate of woeful states caused by Kama, Raga, and Patika. Okay, these are defilements part. Okay, now we have action. Abandon wrong view, wrong livelihood, wrong action, wrong speech. Here I just mentioned of the lion, right? So we have already know wrong view, very clear already. Wrong livelihoods. Okay, be careful this one. So there are many different traditions. That sometimes they have a wrong livelihoods. That means they just do many things for fame or for gain. Not really. We already mentioned many things about, right? We can say Maya Satya. Without having attainment, we just declare. We just accept donation from people. Sometimes we just satisfy people's faith, right? There are many wrong livelihoods in Buddha teaching, especially for bhikkhu. More livelihood, more wrong livelihood. We must be more careful. For layperson also, we may have many other wrong livelihoods. Briefly, we can also understand like a weapon trade, poison trade, animal trade, meat trade, liquor trade, human trafficking. If all these things are wrong livelihoods. Okay, now similarly now we have a gambling, also wrong livelihood. So for our wrong action and wrong speech is very common in Buddha teaching. We don't need to talk about many other things. Okay, that means very clear already. And then removing stinginess, doubt hindrance, wrong grasping. Okay, here. Stinginess. We can also say Machariya. This one, right? This one is only in Visuddhimagga we can find this kind of explanation. So, okay, one more thing here. In Visuddhimagga, it mentioned Avasa Machariya, Gula Machariya, Lava. Okay, we can say all types of Machariya. So we have already talked about Machariya before. So I have to repeat one more time for the new listeners. We have many different types of stinginess, Machariya. For example, Avasa Machariya, we don't want to share our living space. Kula Machariya, we don't want to share our devotees with other bhikkhu. So we don't want to share our friend with another. Kula Machariya, right? So Lava Machariya, we don't want to share our gain with other people. Dhamma Machariya, We don't want to share our Dhamma knowledge with other people. Vanamachariya, we don't want to see anybody beautiful or famous. So anything similar to all these types of stinginess, I wanted to share that they may not have that kind of mindset. There's a removing Machariya. Okay, one more thing here. According to Mahasi Sayadaw, he just mentioned in the case of Sotapanna, it must be only Dhamma Machariya. That means that means he will cut all he will cut the stinginess of unwilling to share Dhamma knowledge. According to Visuddhimagga, it mentioned all types of material. Also can be something similar to that kind of things. Right? No, nothing is hindrances. So among the hindrances, okay, you may remember different types of hindrances, right? So among the hindrances, here, Vichikicha, doubt. This is also one of the hindrances, right? Then it will be eradicated by Sotapadimagga. Okay, what about Paramasa, wrong grasping? See, Paramasa also actually very similar. This is also Micca teaching. So then sometimes we don't know the nature of Dhamma. We don't try to know the nature of Dhamma. Right? That means we just don't analyze, that we just grasp wrong idea. This is also called wrong grasping, Paramasa. So similarly, we have many other types. Okay, for example, when we talk about asava, kama-sava, bhava-sava, ditthasava, avijja-sava, for example, right? Kama-sava means sensual desire. Take off sensual desire. The ones are not eradicated by Sotapanna cannot eradicate that kind of things. Bhava-sava, attachment to life. Also, Sotapanna cannot abandon, cannot eradicate. But ditthasava can be eradicated by Sotapanna, Sotapanna. Avijja-sava cannot be abandoned by Sotapanna and Phala. So that means we have to apply all other mental factors, different grouping. It will be too messy for the listeners. That's why I will not reveal or I will not explain all the things in detail. Just brief introduction. You have to move the next one. Sakadagami, the second part of fruition knowledge. Already mentioned, weekends cause Kama Raga and Patika. This is very clear already. I have already mentioned before. So again, since it doesn't mention new defilement, we don't need to talk about it too much. Again, on the third part, no returner. Abandon, refine Kama Raga and Patika fully. This is very clear already. So according to Buddha, this is the defilements. The first one is it, Kama Raga, Patika, this is the defilements. And now here again, we can say remove dosa, hatred. Starting wrong speech, that means defensive speech and hard speech. That means they will totally remove this one, right? Then it will stay off hate. So these are the power of eradicating defilements. So for about dosa, in the case of the hindrances, we have patika anusaya, right? Patika, this is called dosa hatred. Okay, now we also have to understand for the anusaya. In the case of anusaya also, we have patika anusaya. This is very clear. So Saddhabhatimagga, among the anusaya, latent tendency, Saddhabhatimagga will irrigate Ditta anusaya and Vicikicca anusaya. But Anagamamagga will irrigate patika anusaya. And now the last one, the fourth path of infusion knowledge. So the fourth path of infusion knowledge is headship. It will abandon higher factors. Rubaraga attachment to sensual rounds, Rubaraga attachment to material rounds, Rubaraga attachment to immaterial rounds, mana, pride, Odacca, restlessness, avijja, ignorance, or delusions or illusion. So that means we can say remove greed, delusion, conceit, restlessness, shameless, recklessness, wrong mindfulness, wrong concentration. We can also understand briefly all wrong paths. You see, noble eightfold path, the opposite of noble eightfold path. For example, samadhi versus micchaditthi. Sammasankappa, micchasankappa, right? So that means it will eradicate all types of wrong paths. This is also called abandonment by fourth path. Latent tendency. Okay, here I mentioned mana, bhavaraga, avijja. Then cut stains of greed and delusion. Although we say stains, it also can be any. We can also understand all the types of unwholesome consciousness, all types of unwholesome mental factors. For briefly, right? So when we study Visuddhimagga, it will mention different approach. For example, Samyojana factors, Nivarana hindrances, Asava taint, Olga floods, Yoga bombs, Anusaya latent tendency, defilements kilesa. It will analyze everything in detail. If we summarize, all remaining unwholesome consciousness, unwholesome mental factors, it will be easier for understanding. Okay, now we have to know something about defilements. Okay, the next one, question. The next one. Here I mentioned that path cannot be set to abandon past, future, and present, right? Not mentioned here. Okay, the question is, do path abandon past, future, or present? Okay, one more thing. If the past, they are already gone, no point abandoning. Then we're gonna abandon past kilesa. Already gone, we're gonna do anything. Future not yet arrives, not yet exists. We're gonna abandon that kind of defilements. Present, they go exist with effort. It's impossible to remove them as they burn. Okay, so that's the path cannot be set to abandon past or present or future or present states, right? Okay, now here we have to illustrate a few more things about the definitions of past, present, future. Because there are many different approaches, especially Opana, horizon stage. This one with the last part of today's Dhamma talk, okay? 4 types of horizon abandoned by the paths. The one, Bhumi Latupana. Horizon with footing or ground. Definition, the 5 men standing in their own ground, playing the 5 aggregates in one's own continuance, not in others. This is called Bhumi Latupana. Actually, there are many other explanations here, and we have to illustrate one by one. So if we say it easier way, even we say Bhumi Latupana, there can be many other explanations. Okay, we have to move the next one. The next one. Okay, here. Aramana Gahita. Okay. Aramana Gahita. That means there are many types of objects arising through the object grasping, right? Defilement that have firmly grasped the object, even is not immediately manifest. For example, a bhikkhu see an attractive forms, that means attractive visible objects. Then the lust has not yet occurred, but the object has been taken in, so lust is sure to arise. So that means sometimes because the objects, we may arise. So in the case of previous one, bhumi, right? That one is about the, we can say existence. We can say like existence, right? Okay, now we have to move the next one. Number 3. Number 3, the next one. Okay. The 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐴𝐵𝐵𝐷𝐴 Ubana, arising as not yet suppressed. Okay, here, definition. Defilements not held down by serenity, samatha, or insight. They are ready to surface because of and suppresses force is active. Okay, one more thing here. So if we cannot suppress the defilements, that means bind the power of path and fruition authority, inside knowledge or samatha or jhana, then it will arise naturally. This is called 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐴𝐵𝐵𝐷𝐴 Ubana. Okay, now we have the last one for today. Okay, yeah. Asamhada Ubana, arising but not yet eradicate. The definition. Defilements suppressed by temporary practice but not yet eradicated by noble paths. For example, jhana attainers free of sensual desire while absorbed, but once come out of jhana, lust can return. This is called asamhada ubana. So it depends on the arising stage, right? Then there will be different types of ubana. Okay, that means at the moment of arising, that means, okay, for example, when we are attaining path and fruition, no defilement arises, right? No defilement arises. That's why we're gonna say it's a past or present or future. No, that means they're not arising, right? If we say briefly, there can be some defilement they are already indicated by path and fruition knowledge already. When we are doing vipassana from Sankarupaka Ñāṇa, Anuloma Ñāṇa, Gottabhu Ñāṇa, they are only wholesome. Of course, since we have already established in Anuloma Ñāṇa, there will be Gottabhu naturally. There will be path and fruition knowledge naturally. That's why we cannot say any present defilements. That's why they are not eradicating present, past, or future defilements. Okay, so that means there are different way of arising of defilement. That's why it just lists out the conditions of defilements. Okay, so this is the last part of path and fruition knowledge today. So we will continue the next one as Bodhibhakya Dhamma. It will be the last talk for Visuddhimagga. So I'm not sure coming Saturday it will be available for me or not. Anyway, if we can do, if I have enough time, I can do it, right? Anyway, I will send the message. Okay, so now, anyway, luckily we can finish Visuddhimagga class. We also understand Visuddhimagga is the path of purification. We have to purify step by step. We have already mentioned 7 steps. So that means if we are going to purify step by step, we must follow all the 7 steps. We cannot jump step 1 to step 3 or step 4. If we jump, we are not qualified. We have to come back to number 1. That is why we have to follow systematic way. we also have to understand this one as the order of practice. We cannot skip the order of practice. If we skip, we are not qualified. We will come back to zero, restart, resume. That is why this practice, all this knowledge are very important. Without skipping all the purification, we have to do. If we can do well, of course, we have the last purity. It will be the highest blessing for everybody. Okay, may you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and not suffering.
Thank you, Xiaodong. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Xiaodong, may we proceed to the Q&A session?
Okay, we can do.
Okay, thank you, Xiaodong.
Many questions.
Xiaodong, we will read the questions sent in by the participants. Vadami Xiaodong,
Okay.
one of the causes, dukkha paipada, is having lustful temperament, and one of the causes for danda bina is having a deluded temperament. Does it mean that there is no any obstacle in being hateful temperament, speculative, conceited temperament, or any other temperament? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Okay, sure. So these are 2 different things. Actually, later we also mention, right, very strong defilements. Right? That means when someone has very strong defilements, they can't take any higher attainment also, right? This also mentioned already. So one more thing. So yeah, lustful temperament. This is opposite of samatha, right? Right? Then when we have lustful mind, we cannot take anything, right? And this is deluded temperament. This is the opposite of wisdom. Be careful. So these 2 are okay. One more thing. When you study dependent origination, also mention last with the tanha and avijja are the root of dependent origination. Okay, so that means because understand these 2 are the root of akusala. That's why if we can, these 2 are the main player, key player. For other things are just follower. That's why if we can subside these 2, we have hope for sukha parivara and kibabinya, right? The next one.
Vandami Xiaodong, if a bhikkhu was dismissed from a monastery due to his failure to follow respectfully rules and regulations, although he was given a few chances already to improve, he had created a bad reputation. His teachers don't wish to accept him back. They stopped admonishing or replying him anything, and they lost trust that he can ever change. They may consider him as disobedient, close to Sangha Disya, offense, dubaka, sikapada, but not formally. It means the Sangha did not kama vacha on him. However, from the bhikkhu's side, he continues to approach and does not give up with a sincere understanding of his mistakes and is willing to change this time, especially after experiencing other monasteries, traditions, and teachers who are not practicing Eightfold Noble Path. Was perverted views about samadhi, and they don't teach the Mukha Dhamma, Noble Dhamma, step by step till Nibbana with correct Dhamma knowledge, as taught in his origin monastery, where he was ordained out of faith. The bhikkhu is very much remorseful and feel helpless.
Okay, here in this case, right? Sometimes, okay, it depends on how he behave, how he made mistake in the past also. Okay, some of the mistakes in the past, of course, although he changed, is not that much useful. So one more thing. If you have, okay, one more thing, right? How long does it take to change one's habit? And if you read many books in modern society, okay, I don't know the name of the books, right? Okay, for example, within 3 weeks, you can change your habit. It's not totally changed, right? Within 6 months, you can change totally. You can be like a totally different person. This is the way of changing. Okay, one more thing. Bad reputation. One more, if somebody had already bad reputation, then devotees will not accept. This is the one thing, right? It depends on what kind of bad reputation also. For example, it would, okay, according to my note, I will say something a little serious now, right? I have met some of my students. They are teaching something wrong. Okay, if I say openly, you say, I can read your mind. I can know your past lives. That kind of teaching, right? So somebody follow his teaching. They like his teaching. Then when I disown him, that means I just neglect him, right? Then they also dislike me anymore. But later they also regret. They want to come back. But their reputation in power is already totally, like a spread, right? Their rumor already spread all over the Phao community. So in this kind of case, if I accept, community will complain me, right? That means I'm just, right? I mean, just bias or something, right? That partiality or that kind of thing, they may misunderstand. That's why I cannot accept that kind of student anymore. Okay, one more thing. Changing. Something else come from community. Okay, come from community. One more thing. Remotes. Of course, it comes very late. Some remotes, very late. You cannot change anymore. Right? Sometimes, although they don't, okay, I will say another example. We have some bhikkhu. Okay, then we also say not to go, they want to go to another Buddhist country. Because they are also persuaded by bhikkhu from that country. But that means our community is very good Vinaya, then they also believe that foreign bhikkhu. Then they also actually foreigner in power. They follow to their country. When they arrive, then they will suffer. They come back to Power Doya. Since they don't make many mistakes, actually they don't listen our advice. Then they don't listen, they just go to that country. After that, they come back. Since they don't make many mistakes in our monastery, we still accept. Okay? It depends on what kind of mistake he make in the past. So some mistakes, community will not accept that kind of mistake. Be careful with that one, right? Okay. So that means for changing, it depends on how strong he is. If he is strong enough, 3 weeks or 6 months. So then 3 weeks to 6 months, he can change. If you're not willing, don't expect too much. Okay, next one.
Okay, Xiaodong, this is the second part of the question. Vandami Xiaodong, I have two questions. What can a bhikkhu do practically in order to bring back the trust of his respectable teachers and Dharma community so that they can allow him to come back to his original monastery? If the case can be curable, please kindly suggest a gradual, skillful, and practical steps that the bhikkhu should follow. And is there any difference in the policy if the bhikkhu had brought Dubaka Sikkhapada SG12 or not? B, if the same case happens with a Xiale and not a bhikkhu, will the advice of Xiaodong be different? If yes, please kindly elaborate for the policy with Xiale. After third time admonishment to her, does it necessarily mean a lifetime dismissal? Or otherwise, what can a Xiale do while staying in another monastery and not being able to approach her teacher in the country without a sponsorship letter from the monastery? Is it wise that she will request for a punishment? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Actually, for about bhikkhu, right? Trust. One more thing. Okay. I will give worldly example. Okay. Don't talk about teacher and friends or anything. I just say worldly example. Okay. Wife and husband. Okay. They have very deep love. Maybe more than 10 years, for example. They have very deep love, right? Then wife cheats. Then husband also realize. First time he forgive. Second time he forgive. The third time, do you think he will forgive? he will believe, he will trust the wife. Okay, gonna try to do that. Husband cheats on the wife, right? Then the first time, wife forgive. Second time, wife forgive. The third time, do you think the wife will forgive cheating husband? Okay, this is the one thing, right? Another thing, husband and wife, we can say they are family. They are building a family. They have children, right? In the case of teacher and students, we don't have any blood relationship, right? So if say 3 times admonishment, too much already. According to our tradition in Pao, right? Actually, sometimes after 3 times admonishments, we were banned totally. That is why we delay. If minor problem, we don't admonish. When many people complain, we admonish. Although, right? Many people complain also, it depends on what kind of people complain, right? So that is why some cases, if you have already spoiled the trust, you cannot get back anymore, right? That's why in your case, I don't know how you are doing. The main thing is, if you spoil the trust of people, you cannot regain the one. Even your parents will never believe you. Okay? Okay, this one.
Vanami Siador, if a 𝐸𝐴 observes the 10 precepts but does not practice the Sakya rules, does she break her sila? Can it be said that she does not have sila Visuddhi because the 75 Sakya rules should be obligatory for a 𝐸𝐴? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so that means in the case of the Sakya rules, it depends on many other conditions also. For example, another something you don't respect the rules. That's why you break. This is the one thing, right? You still respect the rule, but I know you break. It will be 2 different conditions. So that means if you don't follow the Sakya rule, you don't have good behavior. Okay, one more thing. If you don't have good behavior, people will never have faith in you. There will be one of the side effects. That means you may have less supporter. That's why. See, that will also, that means the Sakya also affect your practice. If people complain, you're gonna be happy. If you're not very happy, you're gonna practice well. You're gonna feel peaceful and practice well. Okay? Next one.
Vanami Siador, how can one who possesses qualities that makes him difficult to be admonished in reference to Anumana Sutta, MN 15, improve oneself to be obedient one because mana kilesa is destroyed completely only in arahantship? What are the practical steps that one can follow to change and overcome this weakness? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, one more thing, right? Mana. Actually, we all have mana. This is not really the problem. Another thing is that, okay, if we just talk about very easy way, right? Start awareness. That's it, modern, only we just say modern way, right? Start awareness. If you don't know, you are making mistakes. You cannot change. If you cannot change, you cannot expect, right? That means you cannot be obedient. That is really easy. So, in the case of morality, also the same. If you don't know, you cannot be moral, right? So then we need start awareness. According to, okay, Abhidhamma, you might have moral sharing and moral direct. If we have these two, we have self-respect, you can change. One more thing, anxiety is self-respect. It doesn't mean self-esteem or self-importance or overconfidence. Be careful, right? If you have overconfidence or self-esteem, you cannot change. So you have to know all other people are important. All other people around you are also important. more than you or equal to you, that means you can subside mana. Then you can overcome your weakness. Okay. Next one.
Vandami Shador, is it possible that a three-rooted person, Hetuka, who meditates diligently, still won't develop the skill in knowing how to focus on the breath, karana kosala, and seeing nimitta in this life? If yes, what can be the reasons? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So actually, he comes from experience, right? Okay, one more thing here. If
Dear participants, please wait for a while because Xiaodo's connection has problem.
hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, Xiaodo, we can
Hello.
hear you.
Okay, okay,
Yes, Xiaodo.
okay, okay, okay. So now previous question, right? That one is come from experiences. You have to know many different process of improvements, better concentrations. If you can see or if you can remember all the process of better concentrations, then you can do better, right? So that means you must have more, you must be more aware of your own experiences and process. Okay. If you don't know, you cannot improve. The next one. I cannot.
Madami Xiaodo, if someone is considered what is called an educated fool, it means one has learned many good things but does not practice them practically or practice them but not fully, so his behavior is not good. What can be the cause of one's failure to practice? And what can help one to apply the Dharma that one knows or learned? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sarah's connection is still unstable. Please wait for a while.
Okay, now can you move to next?
Xiao, we can hear you. Okay, Vandami Xiao, if someone is considered what is called an educated fool, it means one has learned many good things but does not practice them practically, or practice them but not fully. So his behavior is not good. What can be the cause of one's failure to practice, and what can help one to apply the Dharma that one knows or learned? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear participants, please wait because Xiao is still having connection instability. Dear participants, 𝐻𝐸 has connectivity issue. Okay, we have to proceed to end the session. Questions will be kept for next lesson. Thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you, 𝐻𝐸. Thank you, Interpreter Bantes, for your translation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.